In this series on how I write, design, and self-publish my books, in step number 8 of the process, I talked about bringing over your edited book content from the Google Doc book template into your professional publishing program like Adobe InDesign or Affinity Publisher. Well, in this bonus video, I'm going to give you a preview of some of the interior pages of my books so you can see what's possible after you spend time formatting the text properly for the printer. When you know and see what's possible by looking at my books, design-wise, with your interior pages, then you know how to design them in such a way that the words jump off the page, or the pages don't look boring, just single lines, lines after lines, pages with just text. Yuck. Now, again, I'm not going to teach you how to use Affinity Publisher, which is my preferred book publishing design program. No, we'll save those videos for another series on my channel. In this video, I'm just going to show you some examples from my books. As I said earlier, I'm going to give you a preview of some of the interior pages of my books so you can see what's possible for yours. Come on, let's check it out. All right, so I've got a number of books opened in this previewer here to show you the interior pages of several of my books. Relationship books, coaching, weight loss, fitness, cooking. I've got a lot of books here to show you. And I'm only going to spend about a minute on each book just to give you some ideas, and I'll highlight something if something jumps out to me. But you too, look around. For example, this is a title page for a book. I've got a nice little gradient here. Got a couple of domain names, maybe a mention of another book I wrote. I've got more websites that people can check out. And I've sprinkled this book really nicely with images that, what they say, photos tell 1,000 words. Right here, I've got a really nice way of introducing the table of contents in this really nice way, sort of a reverse box with a white text against a dark background. Not too bad. Again, just sprinkling images throughout. And even the chapter title page is pretty cool. So every chapter has sort of a title page that looks like this. Got a little gradient. Just looks good. I like it. And again, the pages don't look boring. With each section, I've got a nice little header and a gradient that covers the area where the title goes. So you can tell, and here's another title page, that you can just open this book, and no matter where you open it, your eyes are just going to jump to a certain section, like, oh, and these bolds and the underlines, they just jump out, and that's how I like my books to be. And here's a list of items, 2 columns right here. And again, just don't make your books boring. Really put some creativity behind them so that they really stand out. Just scrolling through, you can tell with your eyes, wow, this is a nicely laid out book. Here I'm mentioning another book of mine that I wrote, which I'm actually going to jump to that one pretty soon here because this one has a lot of really cool images that I grabbed. And to date, with websites that give you free stock photography, you should be able to get all kinds of images for your books to, again, not make them boring. Let's go to that one right now, the 251 plus dating and relationship regrets. Again, how I laid out the table of contents. It's not boring. Images throughout the book to really give the book its own sort of, wow, this is what I'm reading. Heartbreak, regrets. And then I just go into the numbers. 251, okay? Let's go to, this is how to prepare, pitch, and become a TV guest. And what I wanted to show you here was the table of contents, where this is an FAQ book, where I basically came up with 25 questions, maybe 26, a little bonus in there. And you can see the table of contents consists of questions. So question 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. And someone reading this could go, oh, that's a good question. I want to jump to that and go to that question number 12. So, what you need to know if you want to be a TV guest on TV shows. Question number 1, answer. Question 2, 3, 4. So if you ever wanted to create an FAQ book, well, you could lay out the book like this, with your questions, question number 6, number 7, and then the answers. I'm thinking of a lot of people in their profession who could create an FAQ book, and they could literally knock it out in a weekend. Come up with 10 to 25 questions, real easy. How long does that take? A couple hours? And then answer them. in a Google Doc. Again, this was a great book. I wrote this book in about a week. It took me no time at all. And you can also include, again, images, nice ways to introduce a new section of a book, with this kind of layout. I love it. Let's look at another book. When images became more available to put in a book, I went to this book and I started putting in images all over the place to really give it that sort of intimate feel that someone would say, wow, I'm getting what he's trying to say. There's romance here. There's thought of relationships. We need to talk, honey. We got some issues. Or, hey, I can't wait to spend time with you tonight, And so this is just how I laid out this book, Laws of the Bedroom, sort of like just tips on how to improve your relationship. It's for guys to be really great for their gal. I love this book. I was interviewed for 3 hours on Playboy Radio, and I love this book. This book is amazing, filled with just tons of wisdom. Tons of wisdom. It's an amazing book. Let me just scoot to just other areas where we have photographs. It's just really nice. Yeah, just, I always have these images on the left right before a chapter to sort of introduce what's coming up. And in this case, here's one at the end. If you ever have these blank pages, fill them with an image. Just don't leave them blank. This one right here, Rich Coach, Broke Coach, this was an amazing book. This is a manual, 8.5 by 11. And what I did was I added images throughout the book, but then this book was also laid out like, kind of like a training magazine, and I used all kinds of headers and reverse boxes and gradients, images again, and I've always got some kind of little, kind of like a call to action at the bottom, and just how it's laid out in a 2-column fashion, I thought that was really cool. Very easy to read, much like a newspaper or, a magazine article. And I just really like how this was laid out, and it's easy to read, it's easy to follow, check boxes, things are broken up pretty easily. I think you get the idea. Oh, this is a really great page. See, doesn't this just look attractive? Doesn't this just like jump out at you like, wow, I can't wait to read what's in this chapter, And again, the use of images, the use of gradients, lists. And again, some of these images you could find on many websites that give free stock photography or free vector images. Just, when you look at other people's books and you see how boring they look, line after line, single lines, no images, no bullets, no nothing, and you're like, yuck. But you look at something like this, now I have ideas. I need to break things off with little check boxes that people can use to make sure that they're going in the right direction that they're going to. And I hope you're getting a lot of great ideas just looking at these pages. Now, here's where I actually included forms. I wanted you to know about different coaching client forms, and I included the forms in the book so you can see the forms and how you collect money from clients and how different things look, whether it's a virtual terminal or maybe your website or maybe an email, giving you samples of how a coach could go about charging for their services. Here's a sample website that they would send a client to, hey, learn more about this package or buy it now. I want to tell you, just don't write with your mind and write with words, but write with your eyes so that your eyes go and get pictures and the eyes also write and share your message that you want to share as well, not just words. Pictures, again, they paint 1,000 words. So why not have pictures? And there's almost a picture on almost every page. And especially where there's an empty white space, don't just leave it blank. Put an image there. All right, let's switch to another book. How about, this is my TV, radio interview tactics and checklists. So again, the use of images, but look how I created the table of contents. Part 1, Part 2, Part 3, Part 4. And this book was actually written from articles. So each one of these was actually an article on my website, but I put it together in a book. But I like how the table of contents looks. And again, the use of images, pretty cool. the use of gradients, reverse boxes to section off a block of text that you want to sort of give a little highlight to and separate it from the rest of the body. Maybe references to other articles that you have on your website. Pretty cool. I like it. I hope you do too. Let's check out the 150 mistakes coaches make. And again, in this one, table of contents, pretty nice how that's laid out. Reverse box here on this header with other websites that I want you to know about. And just the use of images, mistakes broke coaches make. And then I made this mistakes sort of banner here. That looks pretty cool. Nice little image of the waste can. Images to show just cool stuff. And these check boxes are pretty cool. Like, hey, I'm going to make sure I don't do that. I'm going to make sure I don't do that or that. So it makes them really pay attention to this single idea that they should not make that mistake. All right, pretty cool. All right, well, let's get to something very colorful. Fitness and weight loss. Hey, isn't it time you lose weight and get in shape too? Yeah, this is just my personal weight loss tips, staying healthy, all that kind of stuff. I like how I did the table of contents. We had some space here. Why not throw my image there? And I brought in some photographs of some of the food I like, my chocolate chip cookies, the chips that I'm addicted to. It's crazy, I know. And then there's my cookbook. You've got other images in here. There's my salad. I took these photographs myself. Yes, I did eat that many pints of ice cream. And I did it in like 60 days. It was horrible. I am not proud of that. I am. Here's the use of a nice stock photography image of some food to paint the picture. Hey, we got to eat right for life. Some nice reverse boxes to just not make the page boring. You might think this is boring, but at least it's in columns and it's easy to read. And again, just the use of images and photography, 2-column program. And this is an 8.5 by 11 book. So again, I kind of designed it like a newspaper or a magazine. So it'd be easy to read. Bullets, lists. And this is going to be just sort of some excerpts from my other cookbook where I brought them in to share with you. Hey, here's my protein shake recipe. Here's my juicing recipes. Giving the reader some ideas on, hey, here's what I eat. Here's what I drink to stay healthy, And let me just scoot down. And again, I'm promoting my book inside this book and then a domain name of where to go get it. And here's the weight loss area with fitness involved. Give some examples. I use silhouettes. Got the exact weights and resistance bands that I use. And the bench and the dumbbells. And there's I've actually run at that field. That's in Las Vegas. And I do have a Nordic track. I do swim and I work out. Yeah, there you go. So I put this together. And then I have a summary and words of encouragement at the end of almost all my books. Basically, the message is this. Hey, you just read some stuff. What did you think about it? What are you going to do about it? You going to take action? I hope you will. Let me know. Communicate with me. Reach out to me on social media, etc. Give people a call to action. And then you can always promote your books in the back. What do you have for sale? Do you have services? Do you have products? What do you do? What's your website? Direct them to your YouTube channel, okay? Just don't leave them hanging like, okay, that was great, the end. No. Give them something to go after they finish something, And then, of course, here is my world-famous cookbook, Who's Hungry, where in this book, I immediately started with testimonials, rave reviews. A cookbook should usually be enjoyed. Well, who before you has enjoyed it? Or who has enjoyed your cooking? Just don't take my word for it that I'm a good cook, a walking restaurant. No, look at these people. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, an average of 10. 1, 2, 3, 4. Perhaps there are 40 testimonials here. 40 different people who've enjoyed my cooking over the years. So immediately you're reading the testimonials and going, I can't wait to get into this cookbook. If these people like it, I'm going to get into this cookbook. So we've got the copyright section over here with some extra websites I want you to check out. Here's the table of contents, really nicely laid out. different colors for the page numbers and for the headers and the chapter sections. And then I go into different sections, meet your chef, why I wrote this cookbook, how to use this cookbook. And then I thought, when putting this cookbook together, I'm going to tell you what appliances that I use. And that is so cool, because a lot of people in their kitchens, they don't really have everything. They got something. They got the silverware and some plates, glasses. But I went into, hey, these are the products I have and the appliances that I use. You prepare your kitchen, now you're ready to start cooking my meals in your kitchen. So here's the light options for breakfast. Good stuff. And when I put this cookbook together, I took all the pictures, all the photography in my kitchen. I didn't hire a photographer. I did it myself. I laid the book out myself. I probably saved upwards of $15,000 hiring somebody because I did it myself. And because I did it myself, and I know Adobe InDesign or Affinity Publisher, or I know how to do my covers, if there's ever a mistake or a correction or an addition, I can just go do it myself. I don't have to wait on somebody. I don't have to go find somebody because they disappeared on me a year ago. No, I just go do it myself. People, I'll tell you something. I have friends. Only a few. No, I got friends, clients, who over the years, and I've known them for 10 years plus, did they ever take a class on how to design and edit their book? No. And what are they? They're at the mercy of other people. Oh my gosh, I can't do this without somebody helping me. Stop it. I have tutorials on this channel on how I do this stuff. Learn. And you will be thanking yourself from here to kingdom come that you were able to go in here and make the changes you want. I've actually made a couple of additions, and we're going to come up to it real quick. One of the new additions to this cookbook is my amazing Bart's barbecue sauce chicken thigh soft tacos. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm going to tell you something right now. This is an amazing dish. An amazing dish. That's all I'm going to say. Get the cookbook. Watch my videos on this. Deliciously scrumptious. So soulful and delicious. Amazing. Did I say amazing? Okay, good. But the point is I had to add that. How would I have done that if I didn't know how to do it myself? I'd have to go ask somebody, can you help me? Oh my gosh, that's going to be $1,000. Anyhow, I think you get the idea that when you have books and you're doing your book, make sure it's not boring. Make sure it's exciting looking. Make sure that you have just some, images and different ways that you section off your headers and your table of contents. And you make things look cool and attractive to the eye. You want people to look at your books and go, this was nicely well done. I'm really glad I bought this book. Or, wow, this is amazing. I'm definitely going to write my book like this. And that is actually the intent of this video. Hey, I hope you got a lot of ideas out of it by looking at some of my books and the interior of my pages and seeing what was possible for your own book. Hey, let's continue to the next video in this series. You're doing great, and I hope you're learning a lot. Comment in the comment section below and let me know what you think. And I'll comment right back at you just as soon as I can.